What's up, YouTube family? It's your man Host 21, and I'm back with another video. Before I jump into this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, bang on that bell, and don't forget to tell a neighbor, tell a friend to check out your man's Host 21's videos. With that out of the way, let's get to it. I'm back at my South American tank. Never realized that's what it was, but that's pretty much what it is. My South American tank. I have a variety of silver dollars in here. A couple of types of Severums. See those red ones, which are my favorite. Look at those colors. They remind you of a blood parrot a whole lot. They're not quite as wide as they are, nor quite as temperamental. This is a very peaceful fish, and it definitely gives you a lot of color. Look at that, that looks good. All three of those guys swimming together. Here's another Severum, turquoise. Here's another. Have a breeding pair in here. This is the male of the breeding pair. As I mentioned, I have several silver dollars, from the regular plain ones like this guy to the tiger, like you see in the back with the stripes, which is my personal favorite. Here's another one coming along, and the red hook, this guy. But my video about today is, what made you get your first fish tank? When did you say, I'm going to leave out of this house and go purchase a fish tank? Whether it was given to you, or you had to literally go out to the store, to the pet shop, and let them sell you a whole bunch of stuff that you probably didn't really need with the tank, but you knew you wanted an aquarium. What made you do it? I know exactly what it was for me. I went over to visit my uncle. I did not know he had an aquarium at the time. It was probably only a 5-gallon tank. I was very young, like 7 years old. And he had fancy guppies in it. They're not the same guppies that I see today. They were like at least a couple of inches, maybe an inch and a half. Maybe I'm crazy, but I know what I saw. They were much bigger than what they call fancy guppies today. I haven't seen this size guppy in years, but in any event, when I saw that tank, I was blown away. I had to have it. I remember thinking, if I don't do or get nothing else in my life, I gotta get a fish tank. So naturally, I went home and begged my folks for an aquarium. I mean, begged. Eventually, I got one. My older brother bought it for me and my younger brother, who don't tend to care about this stuff as much anymore. He was once into it. He's had them as an adult, but he could take it or leave it. But me, I was in love for life. And that was a very long time ago. I think I was like 7 years old when that took place. My brother bought us a 15-gallon tank. And naturally, we didn't know what we were doing. He bought all the stuff. We didn't buy anything. He did. It was one of those old tanks that had the chrome or silver, metal, whatever you want to call it, trim along the edges of the tank, along the corner of the tanks. It was a beautiful tank. It was like 15 gallons. I thought it was huge for the time. But anyway, we had no idea what we were doing. We killed a lot of fish, unfortunately. Finally got the hang of it a little bit later. No one knew what they were doing. My dad was the basic caregiver of the tank. He didn't know what he was doing either. Bless his soul. He tried, but we killed a lot of fish in the learning process. Eventually, we got it right. Generally, we had guppies in the tank, but we had all kinds of fish before that. But once I saw that aquarium at my uncle's, I knew I had to have it. I know I was 7 years old, because I got a little bit later in the year. I was still 7 years old when my brother bought that first 15-gallon tank. And we went through some fish, I'll tell you that. But there's nothing like else There's nothing else like it in the world for me. Peace and relaxation. I love it. As I'm talking, it occurred to me, I've never shown me feeding this particular aquarium. Usually, I feed them shrimp because there's a ray in here, and that's what he predominantly eats. So I'm going to drop some shrimp in here, and let's see what happens. Ready to go. I dropped it in there, big glob, and it's already disappeared. Bad camera work, but everybody's eating. The ray's attacking. He's serious about his food. Or should I say she is. Everybody's eating. I don't know if this guy got any yet or not, but he loves shrimp as well, that iridescent shark. You can already see my water clouding up a little bit from the feeding, but everybody's out and munching. They're getting their munch on. You'd think these guys been smoking weed the way they're attacking this food. They eat like this every time, like they never had it. It's not just African cichlids. There's some more shrimp I just dropped in, and they're already up on it. But in the comments, you guys tell me, how old were you when you got your first tank, and when was it that you knew you had to have an aquarium? So I'm gonna bounce out of here on that note. The next time, God is love, and be blessed, people.